Today we're going to discuss 8 steps in order for you to build your brand effectively on social media. Step number 1, brand congruency is the key to recognition, meaning your logo, your look, your colors need to be congruent across Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitter, whatever platform you're utilizing in order to grow your personal brand. You need to stay congruent. In all areas, your look, your messaging needs to be congruent. As I mentioned, the big pages, big platforms that I use and follow, and I recommend to you, the biggie is YouTube, LinkedIn, Instagram, and these all vary based on demographics. And there are other videos in the series which address each of these platforms in detail. Your website, your Facebook page, as well as your personal Facebook profile, which is different than your business page. And tell what you do on each platform and make sure it is congruent. I have a guide down below which will explain exactly the demographics that you can download simply by going to the description area below. Number 2, completed profiles ensure personal brand success. What do I mean by that? When I teach a LinkedIn branding course, every one of my students, before they leave the 2-day workshop, has an all-star profile, a completed profile, with a banner exposing exactly what they do, both in words and in pictures. So it's brand congruent, as we mentioned in step 1. And your YouTube channel is completely filled out with descriptions, your about section, how they can get in touch with you. Same holds true for Facebook. Same holds true for any platform that you embrace. So again, LinkedIn, all-star status. Facebook, you want to have captions and links fully filled out so people know how to get in touch with you. What is their next action? YouTube needs to have the descriptions fully filled out. And with a TubeBuddy link, which is the program I use to ensure that all of my YouTube videos are comprehensively ticked. The boxes are ticked. Do I have the right captions? Do I have the right words in there? All of those elements, all the storylines, components, all done. TubeBuddy is my default tool. There's a link below where you can secure it with a discount. Instagram, do you have a full description? Do people know what to do next? Those are completed profiles. Number 3, consistency, consistency, consistency. I said that 3 times. Why? Because of my background in radio, we always used a call to action 3 times. People need to hear it 3 times. Consistency, consistency, consistency. Do what you say you're going to do it, and be consistent with all of your marketing efforts. Let's take, for example, editorial calendars from newspapers and magazines. People know what's coming up in the publication, in the magazine, in the newspaper. All we are doing today is replicating exactly what newspapers and magazines had shown us to follow. The roadmap had already been laid out for us. It's simply digital today. Expectations are met. It creates what I like to refer to as open loops. It causes you to be ready, eager, thirsty for the new information that's upcoming. If you are tied to what are the new job openings coming up in Lincoln, Nebraska, you'll know to pay attention to that particular editorial calendar. And it also allows you to lead to more upselling and selling of your core product offer. Number 4, be considered an expert on 1 to 2 platforms. I claim expertise on LinkedIn. I have an all-star platform, all-star profile on this particular platform. I also embrace with great efforts to be an expert on YouTube. I don't claim to be a Twitter profile expert. I use Twitter, but I have somebody help me manage that because I can't be a jack of all trades. We've heard this in North America. You can't be a jack of all trades because then you'll be a master of none. So I consider myself quite well informed about LinkedIn and YouTube. Instagram is something that, again, I get help on. I do embrace it, I post on it, but it's important to only select one or two platforms to claim expertise. Because if you are the jack of all trades, you're a master of none. I'm very leery of people that say, I'm a master of social media in its entirety. I say BS. Be believable as a niche platform expert, because then people will take you seriously. Who do you think makes more money? A generalist or a specialist? Which one do you choose to be? I choose to be a specialist because people make, let's look at the doctors. A generalist is an internist that comes and sees you typically once a year. It's your family practice doctor. But a specialist, one who performs, let's say, plastic surgery, makes a lot more money. Be perceived as a specialist and you will make more money. Provide content specific to each platform. What do I mean by that? Facebook has its own requirements for posting videos, for posting content. Those same requirements don't necessarily transfer over to LinkedIn video. They don't transfer over to YouTube video or Twitter. Twitter has its own video platform. Each has its own requirements. Make sure you make it either square. Is it square? Is it landscape? Get your facts straight before you embrace, because one does not fit all. You can't put a square peg in a round hole. Landscape or portrait, square or rectangle, word limitations for descriptions. We all know Twitter has a limit. Days of week are better for each. LinkedIn versus Facebook. LinkedIn is a business platform. People aren't looking at LinkedIn or embracing their LinkedIn messages Monday through Friday. Yes, they are. Facebook is every day. LinkedIn is Monday through Friday. Typically, it's a work week type of platform. People are using it. And remember, where did LinkedIn get its roots? It replaced Monster.com. It was for job search, and then it grew from there. Number six, engage or be overlooked and forgotten. Appreciate your followers. People who take the time to comment. Engage with them. Connect with them. Feel important to them. Make them feel important to you. Let me share a relevant story. Why this is so important to engage and avoid politics and religion. One of my clients, it was a staunch Republican, still is. He got into an argument with a former business partner of mine in a venture over politics, over Donald Trump. Now this was a social media post one person posted about Donald Trump before the election in 2016. My former partner didn't like Donald Trump. Guess what happens when you engage in politics? Things erupt. Emotions sometimes match or exceed when you argue over religion. So here's my view on it. And it cost money because of this particular avoidable argument. Don't get into it. Unless you're involved in a political movement or you're a religious person, if you're like the rest of us, stay neutral. Be Swiss. Number 7, join and participate in groups in your niche, because these are people who are like-minded, just like you, who are there to share information, take away information, and meet people who are like them. We've heard of tribes. This is your tribe. They're passionate, engaged. And here's the interesting statistic. When you need something moved, do you go to a big group or do you go to a lot of smaller groups? Statistics support, research supports, micro-influencers are greater influencers than one big macro influencer. So if you have 10 people with 10,000 followers, 10 people with 10,000 followers, or one influencer with 100,000 followers, which do you think will cause more implementation based on their direction? In most cases that were surveyed, the micro-influencers, the people with lists of 10,000 or less, had a much greater impact by a factor of 3. Number 8, share relevant content from groups. So if someone posts something valuable in your passionate category, he or she needs to be acknowledged. Pay credit. Because here's what's going to happen. They'll feel good that you gave them the proper credit. The group administrator will feel good because it'll bring traction and recognition to his or her group. You will then be reciprocated in kind when you have a product offering. They'll be more receptive to supporting you because you've supported them. It's simple reciprocity, folks. People are people. They may be faceless people because it's just a Facebook name or something on one of these groups, but they're people with hearts, and people are wired to reciprocate. When someone gives, they'll want to give back. If they don't, that's a rarity. The money will follow. I will share with you so many stories in other videos. How to build your personal brand on social media. We went through 8 steps today. Embrace them and you will build your brand on social media endlessly.